I often say the main reason Ed is here with me is to keep him out of his wife's hair.
Well, Maureen, who may be commenting, she joined Facebook, and yeah, she likes it when I leave the house for some. She's not so happy when I
can't say I
return.
blame her.
So unless I bring my patient with me.
But so without further ado, please help me welcome local actor and professional teaching artist Chelsea Dacey.
Chelsea Dacey. All right.
Welcome, Chelsea.
Thanks for having me.
And if that name sounds familiar, yes, Chelsea is my niece.
Well,
whether she wants to admit it or not.
We won't hold that against you, Chelsea. And this is similar, and I think we were talking before when we had my cousin Kayla Drescher on the program a few years ago. And Kayla would say she learned magicians because at all the family functions they would want to make me disappear, I think is what you said, Tom. But
Yep.
but we have Chelsea, and let's give her a plug. Chelsea will be appearing with the Castle Craig Players in Meriden, July 26th, weekends till August 10th. Fridays and Saturdays, 7:30 p.m. Sundays at 2 p.m. matinee, playing in Gypsy, and we'll get to that. As of course, we'll plug that all night.
I wanted to start out by asking you now. I can remember a few years back being at a family picnic at Auntie Kathy's house, and I can remember you performing to Lady Gaga
I don't even know.
in the backyard. I wanted to ask you, what made you decide to pursue an acting career?
I really liked it when I was little. I was a dancer for a very long time, and then I always liked to watch TV shows, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, but I didn't really know how to do that. I just always wanted to, so I think that's where it all started.
And what was the first, can you remember the first time that you acted?
I think the first show I did was Footloose, and I was in the ensemble of that, and I kind of just started out as a dancer in shows, and then I began to like sing at school in choir and learned how to sing and do some acting, so then
When you were on the stage in Footloose, your first play, did you know right then that you got bit by the bug, that this was something you wanted to do?
because I always liked doing like singing and dancing, but I never realized that you could put those two together for like musical theater.
You have a great website, and we'll give it a plug here.
Oh, thanks. I need to update it.
www.chelseadacey.com. Now, list you as an actor, singer, dancer,
Oh, no, it
model,
stopped.
and writer.
It just stopped again. Here, let me see if
What's
I
going
can.
on here?
I'll try this time.
Why was it doing this to me? This never happened before. Never happened before. Figures.
Hi, Andrew. Okay, I think
It looks really good. It was
I
just-
think I fixed it. 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead, continue.
Do not make an attempt to adjust your laptop. It's technical difficulties on our end here.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please. bear
Yeah,
with us.
let me repeat the question,
Okay.
because for those of you that were just powered down or powered up again on your computer, your website, www.chelseadacey.com, lists you as an actor, singer, dancer, model, and writer. Now, among those 5, do you have a favorite?
I don't think so. I think I jump from thing to thing all the time. I don't know. I guess I would say maybe acting, but I'm not sure. It changes.
And you also do some teaching. Can you talk a little bit about that, or what's
Yeah.
involved with that?
So I teach mostly over the summer is when I'm really busy. I'm about to teach Frozen in Fairfield for Fairfield Summer Stage. And I direct, choreograph, music, costumes, a little bit of everything, and it's really fun.
Now you just recently directed Dinner Party. What was that like? Directing.
I have directed before, but this was a new venue I've never performed or did anything at. And it was people that were much older than myself. I'm used to directing people who were either like in the same age group as me or younger than me. So it was definitely a different experience for me being in my 20s directing people that were in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Would that be another avenue you may want to pursue in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I love directing.
Do you love it more than acting?
They're both very different. I like doing both.
Yeah, we had heard, or at least it's been my experience in talking with different local actors. Directing is an entirely different animal. I guess it's you control the blocking where the actors are positioned and all that, and it's usually as an actor learn your lines, learn your songs, and where to position yourself on the stage. But as a director, was it intimidating to be in charge of? You said you were in charge of older actors.
Yeah, not really intimidating. I was a little bit worried about, since younger kids, they just like automatically are like, all right, you're in charge. So I wasn't sure how they would take direction from me, but it went pretty well. So
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So.
Now I have to ask you, what was it like working with this gentleman right here?
As Mr. Lee. I didn't even realize that until I saw the picture, because there's a different Mr. Lee every night for both the Marvelous Wonderettes and the Winter Wonderettes. So we would just take a quick picture. It's so fast in the show, but it's so much fun.
I was on stage for only like 30 seconds or something like that. And this was the Marvelous Wonderettes, which was a singing group that I think you started in the 50s and then went to the 60s. I think they, after the intermission, went in the 60s. There was Chelsea and two other singers, and it's a marvelous performance.
And that was at Castle Craig, correct?
So the Castle Craig Players on right across from Court. That's how I know it. In Meriden. Is it West Main?
West Main Street.
West Main?
Yeah.
It's a nice theater, and that's a good segue. We should again plug that you'll be returning there on July 26th in the role of Gypsy, which is based on the life of Gypsy Rose Lee, who I'm old enough to remember in real life. July 26th, weekends, August 10th, Friday and Saturdays, 7:30 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m. We should mention, if you want to join us in conversation, we're speaking with Chelsea Dacey. She is a professional actor and director and singer, and also a teacher. You can give us a call here at 203-213-7197.
You are correct, sir.
203-213-7197, and you can talk to a Dacey that actually even knows what they're talking about. Chelsea Dacey. In Gypsy, your role is
Dainty June.
Dainty June.
So I'm Gypsy's sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell us a little bit.
So it's based on a true story, loosely based, about this girl, Louise, and it starts out of Louise and baby June. So there's younger girls playing our parts. So my younger part is actually my friend's daughter, Ainsley Dahlstrom. She's a star. Look her up. Yeah, so it's, and their mother was like ultimate stage mother, played by Lauren Lynn, and it's about how she like wanted to make them stars, and my character is the one that she kind of pushed to make a star. Starts when she's little, and then I become Dainty June, and then we do a bunch of performances on the kind of vaudeville style, and then Act 2 is when Louise takes over and becomes Gypsy Rose Lee, not to spoil.
Now, are you in rehearsals already for this?
Yes, we started about a week ago, I think.
Okay. How often do you rehearse?
I'm actually not in it that much, so I don't have to be there.
Nice.
Yeah, but
I can identify
a few times a week. Yeah.
And who is the director? Is it
Ian Galligan?
Ian Galligan,
the same director from The Wonderettes.
Did the Wonderettes, and who I believe also did
He was in
the
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare play,
Abridged,
Shakespeare on a
yes.
Bridge with, let's give Griffin Culp, a mutual friend of ours, a plug.
Yeah.
It was in that. So
They were in
a
that
marvelous
too.
play. So.
Yeah.
Do you like playing Castle Craig? Do you like that sort of
Yeah.
intimate audience?
Yeah, it's a great space, and I also like seeing shows there because it's really nice. They do it cabaret style, so you can bring your own food, bring wine, just relax, and a more relaxed atmosphere to watch a show in, I think. So it's nice.
Do you find it easier to perform a comedy or a drama? Do you have a preference?
I like doing both. I don't do a lot of drama. I have, but I do like comedy is more natural to me. But I do love doing more dramatic roles. But right now, I'm doing a lot of comedy.
We have done interviews with other actors and theater people, and that usually is one of my go-to questions. And a lot of them will say that comedy they consider actually tougher, because with comedy you have to hit your mark or hit your cue, that if you don't, then the intent of the joke could go over your head. You do not find that? You think
I
you
really
find
like
comedy
doing
difficult?
comedy. I think that especially as a teacher teaching comedy, a lot of people try to really focus on the joke and like kind of overdo it. I don't know how to really say that, but instead of just saying what's written, like making it more natural. I feel like that's the secret to comedy.
Now, you were very funny in The Marvelous Wonderettes.
Thanks.
I thought the whole, well, the entire cast, all three of them, were marvelous.
I actually watched some of that video
Yeah.
on YouTube the other day. I did catch the video. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was very, very funny, and especially like for someone my age who actually lived during that time.
Yeah.
So I do remember Mr. Lee in real life, and they were, it was a great show with great music, and Chelsea, it's Susie Simpson, I think was your character's
Yep,
name.
Susie,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, they're marvelous. We're talking with Chelsea Dacey. You can give us a call here at 203-213-7197. That's 203-213-7197. We are Facebook Live on early Friday night.
Hopefully we're still on Facebook.
Yes.
It's still on.
American Steamed Cheeseburgers, 92 Quinnipiac Street. Is anybody posting on the side, Chelsea? Can you see?
It just says a bunch of people have joined. I don't see any comments right now.
No comments? All right.
No.
Well, if nobody's complained, that means my wife hasn't written anything.
Now, Chelsea, I want to ask you, what is the best advice you have received so far in your career?
One of my teachers at AMDA said, this was Michelle, if she's watching, she was a dance teacher there. She said, try to do something every day that has to do with your career, whether it's like going to an audition, updating your website, which I need to do, picking out a headshot, like practicing a new song. And I've kind of taken that advice, and I think of it like every day, just do something, even if I feel like I'm really busy with other things like in life, like just devoting one thing a day to acting or directing or teaching, and that's helped me, I think.
And would that be the advice you would give somebody if somebody were to ask you?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I tell my students all the time as well, just who are looking to do this.
Are there a lot of opportunities for aspiring actors to work? I know Castle Craig here in Wallingford, where this show is seen. There was the Square Foot Theater in by Sliders in Yale Plaza.
Yeah.
There's a lot of towns that have community theaters. So, is there enough work to go around for people that want to?
I think
try?
so, if they work really hard, and like we're really close to New York, we're really close to Boston and Connecticut, so that's really nice. It's kind of like, especially around here, it's kind of like the best of both worlds, like an hour and a half from each. So it's super easy to go to auditions if you want to get seen. You just need to make time for them.
Can you describe it? What a typical audition is like? What you go through? I mean, it sounds terrifying.
It depends what kind of audition, because there's if you're going to like like a TV role audition is much different from like a musical theater role compared to like a play audition. You basically either have an appointment or you sign up, you bring your little headshot and resume, and then you're usually waiting for a long time if you don't have an appointment. So I think that's the worst part, because especially if you're going in New York or something, there's not a lot of room to sit down. You're all cramped in a small hallway. It's usually really hot. You all are just waiting to
You're all
sing,
vying
like,
for the same part
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of women, so especially like young girls starting out, it could be hard for them because you're just with a bunch of girls that look and sound and are dressed like you.
Yeah.
Do you still get the butterflies before an audition?
Not really. I don't really get nervous for an audition. I usually get more nervous if I get called back for something.
Do you get? And actually, this is a question, because
Hold on.
as soon as this truck rolls by here. Yes, it is Chelsea Dacey that's in here. No. Driving buses by here. Do you get nervous? Well, how can I say this? Is it okay to be nervous before a performance?
Hi, you're on Talking with Tom.
Oh, hi. Love your show. And I have a question for the actress you have on. I'm sorry. Is it Chelsea?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I am such a fan. I saw you at Castle Craig in the Wonder Egg, and I love you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh no, hold on, we just need to reload. Our live just went out, so please.
Oh, are you looking at the computer now, caller?
I can't do it right now because I'm having to. I tried to call earlier, but now I'm heading on the road. So I just wanted to be able to say to Chelsea, thank you. And also, I'm curious what your, how do you prepare for auditions? And I'm dying to know
Oh, we're not live
what are
anymore.
some of the crazier things that have happened to you
Oh,
on
here we go.
stage live.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna be live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are back. What's the craziest thing that's happened to me on stage?
Yes.
Let me think. Oh my gosh, I can think of one moment with a Broadway actor named Cecil Quimby, and she played the 3 women in Spring Awakening with me, and we did a song called Totally Beep, a bad word, and we would dance together, and we made one of the characters that passes away in the show, spoiler alert, a ghost costume, and the last night of performances, he was in the wings in the ghost costume, so I always thought that was really funny and special.
That's excellent. Now, have you ever had a moment where you forgot your lines or fallen, or how do you recover? It just scares me so much to think of performing live. And I admire you so much. You're so much fun to watch, but you're also poised. And I'll take my answer offline. But thank you so much.
Thank you,
Oh
caller.
my gosh, thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Bye.
That was a very nice call.
That was
Yeah.
very good. Did you want to go ahead and?
Yeah, that same show, Spring Awakening, I actually fell up the stairs. I do that a lot, so I mean, I thought it was funny, but it worked for the characters.
So the audience didn't know. Thought
Yeah,
maybe
no,
it was
I
part
don't
of,
think
part,
they
of the, part of the show. We're speaking with Chelsea Dacey, local actress and director, and also teacher here. You can give us a call, like this last caller did, at 203-213-7197. That's 203-213-7197. We are live at American Steam Cheeseburgers.
We hope we're still live. We want to apologize for the technical difficulties tonight.
Yeah, we had a couple of
I don't
snafus.
understand. I don't understand what's going on tonight. We've never had this problem before.
Yeah, but well, there's always a first.
Gotta love technology. That's all
Yeah.
I can say.
I wanted to ask Chelsea, and you mentioned earlier you had directed adults in the Neil Simon play in Orange last month, but you mentioned you're also directing Frozen Junior for Fairfield Summer Stage. Now this is grades 1 through 6. Now, tell us about the challenges
I was
going
just
from
gonna ask,
adults to children.
This is funny, but actually a bunch of our kids that we have are so talented, and they go on and do amazing things. Like they've had callbacks for Broadway shows. They've done things at Hartford Stage. Like we have really talented kids.
Wow.
So it's actually, I'm really excited to get back to them because they're like little Broadway stars.
So would you say it's easier working with kids?
Both are different, and actually we only do our summer camp. So Frozen, we only rehearse for 3 weeks. We have them every day, but it's kind of like a summer stock for babies almost. Because they just rehearse so quickly, and they have a lot to learn, and it's their first few weeks off from school as well, so it's a lot for them, but they do a wonderful job. I'm really excited that we're doing Frozen.
What was the old saying, don't work with children and animals?
I think it was W.C. Fields that said, "Yeah, don't work with children or animals, because you'll always get upstaged by them." Before we got the call, we were discussing it, and I wanted to talk about a little bit more about being nervous before a performance, like before, like the Wonderettes or any other play, Gypsy. Are you nervous before you start? Because I have a theory on it.
Yeah.
And my theory is I think it's good to be nervous, and I want to plug a local actress here, Lacey Mapes, who we worked a couple of summer shows in Wallingford, and she was telling me she was nervous, and my advice to her was that I think it's good to be nervous. It kind of keeps you on your game, like an athlete before a race or a fight or before a fight. In your case, not total butterflies or panic, but are you a little? Is the adrenaline flowing before you step on the stage?
I don't really get nervous
No.
for shows. No.
Yeah. All that build up for nothing.
I think because I've done, not that I've done so many, but especially the past couple years, I've done a lot of shows, and I'm like, it's kind of like.
It doesn't become boring.
Yeah, no, I still get like adrenaline, like I love doing it, but I don't think I really get nervous. Some specific things I'm like, oh, this song is hard, I hope I don't mess it up, but I don't think I'd really get nervous about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about this before. Like I often said to you, when I first started in cable access, I would never go live.
I do remember that, yeah.
I mean, I always said I liked the safety net of videotape.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then once I started going live, now we're old pros, right, Ed?
Old pros, but I think it's also good, and maybe nervous is a bad word, but I always think it's good to be, like, we've been doing this for, you've been doing it, what, for 40 years or something?
25.
So 25 years, and I mean, and I've been, between John and you and other shows, I've been doing this 20 years, but I still get like an adrenaline rush before we go on the air, and certainly with the theater, I was nervous, and I've been running races for over 40 years, and I still get nervous before a race, but I think it's good nervous, and it keeps you on your game.
One of my funny moments was back at NHTV in North Haven. Your cousin Steven used to be my floor director and cameraman, and I can remember just before he gave me my cue, he did 3, 2, 1, and I look and there's a middle finger in my face. And I just lost it when I opened up the show. Same thing at WPAA. Remember the night Eric Schrader said something nasty in my ear just before we went live?
I do remember that.
And I totally lost it when we opened the show.
Yeah. Eric Schrader, who was in town last week for promoting a film.
Yeah, unfortunately I couldn't get down there to see it. I was wishing I could have got down there.
But again, we're talking with Chelsea Dacey. She's a